it comes to highly respected machines, the Audi RS6 has got to be up there, right? They've always been very quick, yet also unassuming. There was even a past generation that had a twin-turbo V10 engine. The latest model is a twin-turbo V8. It is a bit heavier than past generations, but it has a lot more technology. But what I love about it the most, aside from the performance, is the design. Audi designs are so clean and crisp, and then the RS models just add muscle. So they don't look too extraordinary, but you can tell this is not a normal run-of-the-mill family wagon. I actually like that it hasn't gone with the quad outlet exhausts at the back. I mean, if you look closely in there, there are twin pipes in each side, but it's just got a single circular oval pipe on each side, which is, yeah, again, suits that unassuming character. So you don't immediately know that this is a very, very quick machine. Now this one does come with a few options. We've got a spec sheet here, and it's got 22-inch 5-wire spoke design alloy wheels, which are a no-cost option actually, but it does have the RS design package in blue, which is $2,900, and then the inlays in carbon fiber with blue thread is $2,100. It does look pretty cool though. That's this stuff here. It's just exposed carbon fiber basically. You can actually feel the threads, and then it's got the little blue stitching bits in there. That's $2,100. It's also got the matte grey exterior design package for $700. But yeah, check out some of those specs. So the V8 powertrain's got mild hybrid tech, 463 kilowatts and 850 Newton meters, 0 to 100 in a claimed 3.4 seconds. Absolutely astonishing performance. It is a very big vehicle, which means it is pretty heavy, but it measures just under 5 meters long. So that's about the same as a 300 series Toyota Land Cruiser. It's massive. You've got a decent sized boot there, 565 litres, which is a little bit bigger than a standard mid-size SUV. You've got pull tabs on the wall there so you can fold down the rear seats from the back. You've also got a 12-volt socket down there, and a tiny bit of underfloor storage. But yeah, this is definitely a vehicle you could take for a nice ski trip away or something like that, or use as a business sort of style of car where you're jumping from city to city. It'd be awesome in Germany where you can really unleash that engine on the Autobahn. Inside, it's much like the exterior. It's kind of unassuming and subtle, but there are various little highlights that suggest, hang on a minute, this is a bit more serious than a standard model. When you start it up, of course, you've got that nice V8 purr. It doesn't redline. Yeah, very nice soundtrack. It's a modern V8, so it's got all the emissions gear and everything, so it's not a, you don't get that completely loud and crisp exhaust note, but still sounds quite ferocious. Sorry, I just had to move the car because about 5 billion people decided to have a picnic right in front of where I was filming. I always get that when I'm taking photos or something in the middle of nowhere, and suddenly a bunch of people will turn up and just park right in front of where you film. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so fully a digital instrument cluster. You can change around the view and the settings there. You've got a few different options to configure, and you've got twin touchscreens here as well. It does collect the dust and fingerprints, and as you can probably see, the piano black on the sides doesn't help, but it does make it look like one seamless unit. The main screen is for the car settings and the media, and then down below you've got the climate settings. You can actually reach some of the media settings as well from down here. And you've got your parking assist features down here too, and a nice solid gear lever. Plenty of storage, although that center box is pretty shallow, but you do have cup holders and then bottle holders in the doors. It's a spacious vehicle. As you'd expect, this is an Audi A6, so there's plenty of room, plenty of leg room, good amount of headroom. I feel like I could sit in here for hours. And likewise, in the back, plenty of room there. Even before we get in, you can see that's quite a spacious environment. And yeah, you've even got your own climate control settings, multiple charging ports, and twin sunroofs just to help brighten up the atmosphere a bit. Even though those seats in the front are chunky bucket seats, they're not overly chunky and don't take up too much room, and they don't take up too much visibility too, because some sports cars you get in, they've got huge chunky seats in the front and you can't actually see around them, so it makes you feel a bit claustrophobic in the back, whereas this doesn't do that. I like the way you've got climate vents on the pillar as well as down there, so you're definitely very comfortable back here. Again, this is perfect for a big road trip. Very comfortable back here as well. The seats have got some side sculpting, a bit like the front, so it kind of holds you in terms of lateral support. And yeah, the cushion is pretty soft. I like the big center armrest here, a bit more storage. Yeah, this is definitely a very cool, if you can afford it, family car. All right, we'll go for a drive and I'll try and give you a snapshot of what it's like. It's very difficult to drive a vehicle like this in Australia because it's so bloody quick, like it's unbelievably quick. But it is lots of fun. So you don't have to rev the absolute crapper out of it to enjoy it. Because the bellowing V8 lets off this nice soundtrack even low in the RPM. And you can just use the gears, remain in the lower gears and you're not going too fast. But then we'll hit the private road and do the performance test to really see what it goes like. But yeah, just standing here, you can see those wheel arches really flared out there, especially the front ones. The tyre, I love the way the tyre sticks out. You can see the tyre there sticking out before the guard. Like it comes out further than the guard. That's a sign that this is a very serious machine. They push the wheels out so it's better for handling. So the wider the vehicle, the better it will handle, theoretically. But obviously you have to stay within certain limits of the lane. But that's the reason they do that, and it's the same as the back as well. It does have huge grippy tyres, 285/30s on the front. I think they're the same on the back. Yeah, 285/30s on the back as well. Huge brakes as well, perforated and ventilated of course, front and back. And look at the size of that caliper. It's absolutely massive, 10 piston calipers. But it does need them. As I said, this is a heavy car. It weighs about 2.1 to 2.2 tons, which is like a big luxury SUV. And it kind of is. It's the same as a luxury SUV, it's just lowered to the ground in comparison. So lots of features, lots of technology, and the hybrid tech, mild hybrid tech, obviously would add some weight as well. Leaving it all in the default mode, it's a pretty comfortable car. You wouldn't actually know that this is a extremely quick high performance wagon. The ride, there's a little bit of a edginess on smaller bumps, so if you hit the little reflectors on the road and things, it will sort of crash and vibrate over the finer bumps, and that's just a sign that there's, you know, very tight bushes and things in all the suspension components. But the actual wheel movement, the compression, it seems pretty good. You can hit pretty nasty bumps and it just soaks them up reasonably well. Like even over this pretty dodgy bit of road, there's a bit of road noise from those big wheels, no doubt, and low profile tyres. But overall, it feels similar to a premium luxury European vehicle. European cars are usually, you know, a bit, the ride is a bit firmer than a Japanese or Korean car. So you still have that underlying there. But yeah, I would definitely feel comfortable driving this cross country, big distances, without feeling fatigued or bothered. Obviously, performance is the most exciting part of the vehicle. In D and in the normal eco mode or comfort mode, I think it is. Yeah, comfort mode. The gearbox wants to go into those higher gears as soon as possible to save fuel. You can probably hear there's a bit of a rattle going on, but it might be that key. There's still a little bit of rattling from the dash, just from this very coarse road. So we've got the reflectors here. Yeah, it kind of crashes over them. The vibrations even come through the steering wheel. That's pretty normal for a high performance vehicle. But yeah, so if you put your foot halfway down, you got this sudden rush of boost, this surge that pushes you from behind, but it does take a little bit to get there. It doesn't do it immediately like in S or sport mode or dynamic mode. I'll put it into the dynamic mode and show you the difference. So the suspension will tighten up and it's actually lowering down there, you can see. And it's gone into the S mode for the transmission, so you still can have D for the transmission separate to the rest of the drive settings, and it will still remain pretty low in the revs. It won't, you know, hold the revs really high and change down immediately, but it's still got that performance edge in terms of steering and everything else. I'll hit those reflectors again. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. But yeah, you get improved response. So I'll push my foot halfway down on the throttle. Yeah, it definitely creeps up on you. I'll try that in S mode. So the revs will probably already be high, and I'll just push half throttle. Yeah, so it just picks up definitely a bit quicker. In dynamic mode, you can actually hear the suspension is firmer because we've got more of that rattling going on in the center console here. It's just picking up the minor vibrations, but even still you can hit bumps and things and it's not totally bone jarring. I've driven some hot hatches that are definitely a lot more firm than this. To engage manual mode, you just click one of the paddles and it will blip the throttle for downshifting. And yeah, incredible performance. It really hauls. Even if you leave it in S though, it's very sporty, so it will change down nice and early and it will hold the revs. So you don't need to fiddle around with the paddles. So I'll just come into this corner and it's just blipped down to second gear, ready for me to punch it away up through the gears again. Yeah, crazy speed. In terms of the handling, yeah, it does have kind of Audi-esque steering in that it's not super communicative, but it's definitely better than, or it's more communicative than any other Audi on the market. Like in terms of the non-RS models, I can feel what's going on. It does kind of steer at the rear as well. You can feel the rear pivoting around. I don't mean sliding, but just the chassis setup and the drive system. It's sort of pushing from behind. It's not that typical front heavy Audi characteristic. It does feel like it naturally wants to go into the corners and accelerate away from the corners, even from mid corner, not like the old Audis that only used to like accelerating, you know, after the apex, or well after the apex. Whereas this, you can actually get on the power a little bit early and it will kind of, yeah, help you pivot around the corner thanks to the clever Quattro all-wheel drive system. I'm interested to see what this does with the V-Box 0 to 100 in the real world. So the official claim 3.4 seconds, that's probably in perfect conditions. It is a pretty hot day today, so I'm not expecting it to hit 3.4, but I'm guessing it'll get pretty close because it feels very quick. You get that enormous rush from behind you. It does seem a little bit peaky. It's not that there's turbo lag, but it likes, you know, above sort of 4,000 RPM and it really rushes you along. It's yeah, I'd imagine it'll be awesome on the Autobahn with top speed cruising going, you know, 250 kilometers an hour plus with no problem at all. All right, let's head out now to the private road and do some performance testing.